Let's check in with Michelle Charlesworth in Staten Island in the Clifton section. Michelle, I can't even tell you how many people on Facebook, at least, and I haven't looked on Twitter, are saying, where are you all? How come we don't see you out in Staten Island? You are there.
Oh, we're out here.
Tell us what's going on.
We were here all yesterday.
I know you were. We're there.
You know the deal. It's tough, absolutely. Well, the streets are covered with debris here. A lot of people have lost power. A lot of houses are dark. Look behind me. This is a construction site. I don't know. I'm doing a live shot, sir. I'm sorry. That's like a building that was covered in a white canvas that has just been shredded. So it just looks like it's covered with flags, but it's just been ripped to pieces by the wind. This entire area here was flooded. You can see all of these fences down over here. And back over, if we want to back up, here, let me hold this. I'll walk you over, Gus. I've got your cable. We're at a gas station, and this entire area flooded. The gas station itself is padlocked, locked up, and flooded also. We were in the area of the Staten Island University Hospital, which started evacuations Thursday, trying to get people home, get people to places where they could get help in the event that they lost power. But they had the lights on. They weren't able to talk to me. If you look in here, this whole place flooded, and the gas station is full of silt and was obviously full of water. We also talked to some folks, some residents who live near Staten Island University Hospital, who their entire area is flooded out. We've seen dozens and dozens of cars that just drifted away from parking spaces on streets and into people's front yards. So many cars ruined, entire neighborhoods flooded out. Very difficult to get live out of here between the wind and the rain and the flooding. So we've been trying to get to you all morning. Very frustrating. A lot of front-end loaders and bulldozers have been pushing debris off of the streets. We went down to the Staten Island Ferry. That entire area was flooded out also. Couldn't get out from there either. And we're back up here at Camden and Bay. We'll be sending you some shots from Drury Avenue and Frank Capodanno, an entire neighborhood there in the dark, debris everywhere. It's impassable. You can't even get down these roads because of giant timbers. I mean, they look like railroad ties that have just floated out into the street and are sitting there. Very few people, the good news is very few people out on the road trying to get around. The sad thing is a lot of people did not heed the warnings from officials, from the news, and at least two seniors we know of, one man 60, one man 69, were trapped in their homes surrounded by water. Absolutely no way to get to them. And people kept coming up with, they had an aluminum boat. You can't put that in the water. You can't go in the water because there are live power lines everywhere. And one guy was saying, well, I don't understand. I said, full bathtub. Are you going to throw a hairdryer that's plugged into a full bathtub? He said, not in a million years. I said, well, that's what we're looking at through this entire area. So we're really worried about those folks, and we'll bring you the very latest on that. We talked to those residents, so we just fed that video in. We'll be bringing you some more later on. For now, we're live in Clifton. Back to you guys.
Sometimes you have these residents that are trying to help out fellow residents, but they don't understand, as you were just bringing up to him, that, first of all, they're not even first responders. So as much as you may want to help your neighbor, you really can put your life in danger. When we even know that first responders, that was one of the big issues that all of our officials kept saying, you need to get out of the house if you're in these low-lying areas or places that usually flood, because there's going to be a time when the professionals won't even come to help you, let alone your neighbor who shouldn't.
Right. That's the thing. That's the thing. And listen, we're a hardy bunch out here. We've been trying to go around. We can't even get around. So
you got a big vehicle.
It's really tough.
Michelle, can your photographer turn back into the front of the gas station, into their facility there? Can you kind of get an idea how high the water was in there?
I was looking at that when I ran over here before. I don't see a water line up. You see the green on the other side, kind of where the sodas are? I don't see it up above that black barrier at the bottom. So, maybe like 6 inches or something. That's what I was trying to guess before. That's a good question.
Okay, but at least 6 inches.
But yeah, I'm thinking,
You got to figure there's probably about 1.5 feet of height from the road plus that 6 inches. That's quite a bit of water.
At least, Ken, at least. Absolutely. Good point to be made there. But this entire area flooded out. It's just so tough. And people very, very desperate saying, we need help. And we didn't listen.
Yeah. And what
Very sad to hear
happens
that.
typically
Very
after,
upsetting.
Of course it is. And after these types of incidents, when you do step outside and see the destruction and the devastation, you're so disoriented, you know, compounded with the fact of what you're dealing with.
Yeah. That's the thing. And nobody has the resources. A lot of people's cell phones have gone dead. We just don't have the things that we need to be able to reach out and help people, and it's very, very frustrating, and it will be frustrating for many days to come. Good point, Lori. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll see you in just a little bit.